Hello and welcome to another episode of Backlinking, the PKM podcast. In today's episode, we are discussing Grammarly, and I wanted to do this episode a while back, but I haven't been able to because of traveling and just a lot of things happening, summer vacation, in general, a lot of things happening. But it is time to make that video or podcast episode because Grammarly has been hard at work lately in the productivity space. And if you're wondering why I look like I do, for those of you who um, watch the video, I just came home from exercising, and that is actually the best thing you can do for productivity. But more on that in another episode. So that's why I look the way I look. But I had to get this video done before like all of the other things I have to do today. Life can get really, really busy really quickly. Anyways, back to Grammarly and mainly, I'm talking about the acquisitions that Grammarly has made lately. There has been two major ones. The one is actually older. I don't know if I ever got to covering that, but that was back when Grammarly acquired Coda. If you're not familiar with Coda, Coda is a productivity tool similar to Notion. I always call it the more powerful Notion. It is like this page structure with really, really complex databases. And especially complex formulas, which makes Notion formulas just look really basic. So, not necessarily for everyone, but if you're heavily into automation, even AI stuff, I think they do a lot of good AI stuff. But if you're heavily into automations, especially, then Coda has been an application that probably has been on your radar. It was heavily used mainly by teams. I think I haven't met or heard from a single person on social media that has used Coda as their second brain, but everyone has said that it is an amazing application. So that has been like the standing of Coda in the productivity space and among productivity enthusiasts. And Grammarly just acquired Coda. And I didn't think too much about it, but then quite recently they acquired another really popular product, which was Superhuman, the email client, the really expensive email client, which I never got to using because it is way too expensive for my use case. I send like one or two emails every week, so not necessarily for me with the price tag of I think it's around 30, 40 USD each month. And a lot of people hate the application because of the price tag. But on the other hand, the people who use the application really love the application to the point where they can't like live without it. I haven't seen any other email clients be able to do as good of a job as Superhuman. So clearly for heavy email users, the best, definitely the best like productivity tool or email tool, which for a lot of people is all of their productivity. But many people live in their email and are in love with this application, which makes a lot of sense. But recently, like a month ago, I think, from this being this podcast episode being out, Grammarly went ahead and acquired Superhuman. And that's made me start thinking, so why is Grammarly doing this? And uh, I am going to title this episode something like Is Grammarly building the next productivity suite? Because if you think about it, there aren't that many like productivity suites. I can't like buy a bunch of productivity tools and just use them. Like, if I give you another example of a productivity suite, or actually a suite of applications that I can use. It is something like the Adobe Creative Cloud, where I get everything I need to be creative. Not that I'm paying for Adobe anymore, but I use it at work. It is a nightmare of an application. Again, some for another podcast episode, something for another podcast episode. But we don't have that many like productivity suites. We have the ZenKit suite because ZenKit has a lot of different tools. We have Microsoft tools, but as you might hear in my voice, I'm not a big fan of the Microsoft ecosystem. Like Microsoft Loop is basically useless. There is no other way to put it. Like I have a database with 100 entries, and I know that 100 entries might sound like a lot, but if you want to have databases and you can't take 100 entries, then you should probably don't have databases at all. But my database has around 100 entries, and even back when it had 50, like the page is so slow that I can go into loop, find the page, click on the page, go get coffee, go to the toilet, go for a walk, get back, and it is finally loaded. It is a nightmare. So Microsoft Loop isn't that good. Microsoft Planner is good. They are trying to put it into Microsoft To Do, so uh, not the best experience. OneNote is a good application, but there are much better options out there. So not a big fan of the Microsoft ecosystem, even though I use it every single day at work. And I'm not saying that it is terrible, but it works. But there should be better options for people who are really into productivity. You have the Atlassian suite, which I forgot to cover in my blog post of this podcast episode, which is good with things like Jira, Confluence, and you also have Trello now. So, especially with the Trello, I would say the Trello daily planning features, which they recently came out with. So, I think that combination is really interesting. And I'm a big fan of it. So Atlassian might probably be the one I am a big fan of out of the like productivity suites out there. But still, it feels like it lacks a little bit. Like it doesn't have anything for email. You can use Trello for daily planning and to do management, and it does an okay job. Confluence is good for like page building, but it can quickly get really technical. They don't actually have calendar applications. Like Trello has calendar abilities, but um, not to the point where I would call it a calendar application. Like it lacks calendar and email, basically. Still not a fully fledged suite. I'm sure that they will continue to improve. I'm not sure if they will add calendar or add email, but the point of all of this, the point of my rambling here, is that we don't have that many productivity suites. We have these 3 or 4. Google has something, but Google Keep and Google Tasks, and with Google, you never know how long they will keep developing their applications, so it is hard to say. So it makes sense that there is something to get in this like productivity suite of applications market, especially towards businesses, because uh, especially bigger businesses or medium-sized businesses, I'm thinking like 25, 50, even 100 employees, they want everything in one place. And a lot of them might use Google Drive or even SharePoint for like file management, but you need something for project management, for wikis, for even some companies where they have a lot of employees spend a lot of time in email will use something like Superhuman. So especially towards companies, but also in an environment where we have way too many subscriptions. Like everything is a subscription at this point. I'm thinking like I will have to pay a subscription to breathe air. That's how annoyed I am with subscriptions, and I'm happily paying for mine, but a lot of things could like not be a subscription. I will just give you an example so you get the point here. Those rings, those Aura rings, which you buy the hardware and you have to then pay a subscription to actually use it. Um, Not a big fan. I'm pretty sure that Whoop also has a subscription, but there you don't have to pay for the hardware. But the point is, like, I can't do any more subscriptions. I'm getting tired of them, and when you then start to think about that, bundling up these 3 tools or many tools, many productivity tools into one subscription, where you can get it a little cheaper than if you were to buy every single thing separately, That is also a big opportunity. So, is Grammarly going to build the next productivity suite? I'm not sure, but I think they are doing a lot of things right, especially acquiring applications that are really good with AI, because Grammarly has always been a grammar checking tool. Probably a little more than that. I used it back when I was in high school, and back then it was more of a grammar checking tool. It has added a lot more features to make your writing really, really good. But with AI and LLMs coming up, like people use them a lot to do grammar checking for them instead of like using something like Grammarly. You just put it into an AI tool and you ask the AI tool to fix your grammar or give you feedback on how things are written. And in many cases, especially when it comes to things like email drafts, you just ask the AI to draft it for you, which means that the need for something like Grammarly might not be there anymore, at least not as it was previously. And with writing tools like Lex that a lot of writers are jumping towards, it feels like Grammarly is losing that audience too, and they need to like figure out something new. And bundling up a subscription tool or a productivity suite into a subscription or offering more inside of the Grammarly ecosystem might be the right direction to go in. Uh, the CEO of Grammarly, when they acquired Superhuman, said this, and I quote: "With Superhuman, we can deliver that future to millions more professionals while giving our existing users another surface for agent collaboration that simply doesn't exist anywhere else." Email isn't just another app, it is where professionals spend significant portions of their day, and it's the perfect staging ground for orchestrating multiple AI agents simultaneously. So, AI stuff. Do I know what these AI agents will do? I have no clue. Do I know what AI agents will end up doing in the future? No. I have heard the promise of like getting AI to do work for you while you can do other stuff. So you can sit down and do um, your writing, for example, while AI does all of your emails for you. I have been promised that future. I haven't seen it yet, but I am hoping that we will get there at some point. Uh, but what this like what the statement from the Grammarly CEO actually says is that they are going heavily into AI. That is why they ended up going for Superhuman and Coda. Both applications have done really cool stuff with AI. So AI agents in a productivity suite where it is hard to put words into the or to describe what this is going to be, but like I think the dream here is when you purchase a Grammarly subscription, you're not just getting applications, you are getting a workforce of AI agents. That is where I think like productivity and our life in general is going. Um, and again, as I always say about AI, there are problems and discussions we need to have. I just saw a video on the report called, I think it was called AI 27. Um, and it was like an idea of where AI will be in the future. I think that is what it was called, AI 27, something like that. Uh, and it was a really interesting report, which I will read through at some point and make a podcast episode on. This it is called AI 2027, so I just had to double check that. But like we have issues there that we need to discuss at some point, and we're not sure if this will be the future where we will have an AI workforce. That is what everyone is predicting, and it makes a lot of sense, but we can never be like sure. And also we don't know if those AI agents will live in our applications or inside of a browser like Perplexity comment this is discussions I've had before. But I think for Grammarly, it has been important to like acquire applications and do things a little bit differently so they can continue to not only grow but to exist because the use case for Grammarly is disappearing. So I think they've made some interesting acquisitions. I think a lot of them make sense given the fact that we are going towards this AI agent stuff, and they have acquired like productivity tools or productivity tools that are fan favorites among those who spend a lot of time on email and among those who want a really complex wiki system with formulas and automations. Like the people who use Coda and Superhuman, they love Coda and Superhuman. So it makes a lot of sense to acquire those two applications. We will just need to give it time and see how the applications change over time. Often with these acquisitions, sometimes like they shut down the applications. It doesn't seem like Grammarly is doing that, but until it is fully incorporated into the application or the company that acquired them, that tends to take a little bit of time, like a couple of months, even a couple of years sometimes. So we will just need to wait and see where this is going. But I would say that I think Grammarly is doing a lot of interesting stuff. And this video or podcast episode has been a lot of rambling and a lot of thoughts, but that is where we are in the productivity space and AI space right now. It is a lot of thoughts, a lot of rambling, a lot of research. So it will be exciting to see where we are going in the future. I think that covers it for today's podcast episode. If you have any questions, please do leave them down below. I will try to get to them as soon as I can. And as always, thank you so much for watching or listening to today's episode.